what's currently happening with Jaxson Robinson? What's going to happen with Robinson? In case you don't know, Jaxson came off the bench for the Cougars a season ago, averaged over 14 points per game, shot 35.4% from beyond the arc, was just a very solid six-man for them. If I'm not mistaken, was the Big 12 six-man of the year. Leading scorer on the team coming off the bench, previously at Texas A&M and Arkansas before transferring to Pope and the Cougs. They turned him into something special, and he is a potential NBA draft pick. As of right now, Jaxson Robinson is considering the NBA draft while also having entered the transfer portal. It is official. He put that post out just a few days ago about how he is going to enter the portal while still considering the draft. And so here we are now, days later, after everybody got really excited, and they said, oh my goodness, Kentucky should be the favorite to land Robinson, right? They should be the guy, they should be the team to land this guy, and he should be excellent for them in 2024-25 season. And so far, through a few days, nothing. There's been no news. There's been nothing from Robinson's camp. There's been nothing from Kentucky. You're not reading anything on message boards about him. It's all just been silent. And I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing for a couple of reasons. First off, Kentucky just got 7 transfer portal players in the span of about 2 weeks. I think things are going to be okay if they slow down a little bit. I think that's fine. There's nothing wrong with taking your time, making a decision as to where you want to go or if you want to stay in the NBA draft. I think Robinson is probably mulling those things over right now, and it's a very good thing he's not making a rush decision. Well, cannot speak. Second thing here, every single time things have gone quiet on the Kentucky front over these past couple of weeks, something good has ended up happening. Did you guys think that Kentucky was going to end up with Kerr Kriisa? Up until the day of, did anyone out here know that he was even a possibility? No one did. No one did. This staff has done a phenomenal job. I mean phenomenal job of making sure that they keep their top priorities under wraps. Ever since they had Jeremy Roach go astray, they've been really tactical and very smart with the way that they've handled things. It's impressive. It's really, really impressive. They're not just rolling out here all bold and brash going, oh, well, we're just going to get this player and get this player, and we're hosting them all for visits, and we're making things happen. No one even knew about Kriisa. Quite frankly, no one even really knew about Brandon Garrison until that happened day of. We just looked up and, oh my gosh, Kentucky's got to commit. The only reason we knew Kriisa could commit is because we had reporters saying, hey, there could be 2 commitments there could be 2 commitments today a couple of days ago whenever Brea committed. It's the only reason we knew. So I think it's a good thing that things have gone quiet, because normally good things come out of that. And now with Robinson, I think it's a good thing he's taking some time to make this decision, because he's a very good player, excellent wing. And I think that if he does end up choosing Kentucky, this is what Kentucky needs. This is what Kentucky needs to kind of finish things up. Robinson was a really good scorer a season ago for the Cougars. Fit very well in what Pope wants to do. Tempo, threes, get to the rim aggressively whenever you can't hit the outside shot. And he's at a position that Kentucky desperately needs to kind of fill out with somebody high profile as far as scoring goes. Because again, to go back to what we were saying ago, point guard's fine. You've got Colin Chandler at shooting guard. You can play Brea or Owe at shooting guard. That's okay. And if you slide one of those guys up, you need somebody at the 3 or the 4, like Robinson, that is a high profile scorer. I personally would prefer to play Robinson at the 4, just so that we can get all of those shooters on the floor at once. Think about a rotation where you have, we'll just say for fun, Kriisa, who shoots 42%, right? You have Brea, who shoots almost 50% from 3, right? Then you have a guy like, we'll just say, Otega Owe in there who shoots 38%. And then you've got Jaxson Robinson at your 4. You've got 3 guys that can just flat out spray it. That would be so fun. That'd be so fun. Kentucky's going to have a lethal lineup next year, man. They already have some really good shooters, and somebody like Robinson would be just the cherry on top. And what an amazing topping to this amazing bowl of ice cream that Mark Pope is currently making. This is just it's funny, just the analogies that Mark Pope uses, talking about how like it's like an organism. It's a living, breathing thing, this roster. And I just equated it to a bowl of ice cream. I mean, honestly, it really is like a good stew, right? In order to make the best stew, you need to have all of the right ingredients, and you don't need to just have the right ingredients. You need to put them in the right places. You need to put them in at the right time. You need to have the right amount. You need to be able to have a little bit of spice, like Carissa on top as the point guard, somebody that can talk a little bit of trash and then back it up too. You need to have something that's kind of like a strong broth, like something like Lamont Butler defensively or Otega Owe defensively. You need to be able to have something sharp like Kobe Brea, who is just an excellent sharpshooter. You need to be able to have something that kind of round things out and pulls things together, like an Andrew Carr stretch forward. You need to have some kind of base there, some kind of meat there, maybe like an Amari Williams or Brandon Garrison. And maybe you need something like the bread to kind of dip into that stew, something like Jaxson Robinson that really does kind of soak everything up and just really is excellent. I know I'm just kind of rambling here about this food analogy. Quite frankly, I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't eaten dinner yet, and it's a couple hours after dinner, so I'm pretty hungry. But the point is here, welcome to Locked On Kentucky. The point is here, nobody knows right now what Robinson's going to do. The assumption is that it's Kentucky. At the end of the day, it's going to be Kentucky. He's in the portal. Pope's here. It makes the most sense. He's the player that Kentucky wants and the player that Kentucky needs. We're just going to have to wait. And I think that's okay. I think it's okay that we have to sit here and wait a little bit for Robinson. If that's what happens, you know what? Fine. If you can't get Robinson, and that becomes apparent within the next 4 to 5 days, there's a player that just entered the portal that I think would be pretty good. Be pretty good for Kentucky as a replacement, so to speak. Let's talk about Jordan Lathan out of Morehead State in just a second. Before I do that, let's talk about our friends at Game Time. Game Time is an authorized ticket marketplace of the NBA, which makes getting playoff tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to tip-off. And ladies and gentlemen, I know a lot of you are living close to NBA teams that are currently in the playoff that have a number of Kentucky Wildcats on their rosters. And let's say you want to go to a couple of these playoff games. Maybe you want to go see the Knicks if they advanced to the next round. Maybe they take it to a Game 7 here against the Philadelphia 76ers. Maybe you want to go see that incredible matchup if you're living near New York, and even if you're not. Game Time is the place to go and get your tickets. I actually recently used Game Time to get some tickets for an MLB game coming up here soon. I'm going to be using them throughout the summer to go to watch the Braves. I used them a ton throughout college football season a year ago. It is excellent. It is the place to go get last-minute tickets. It has all-in prices, so there's no hidden fees. Views from your seat, which actually ended up being even better in person, and the views from the photos were incredible. Game Time is absolutely the place to go if you're looking for stress-free ticket purchases. Take the guesswork out of buying your NBA tickets with Game Time. You can download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONCollege, LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. All right, wrapping up the Thursday edition of Locked On Kentucky. We've got one more player to talk about here. So we talked about the player that I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name again, from Samford. We'll figure it out. Together we'll figure this out, because I know a lot of you in the comment section are going to be telling me this is how it's pronounced, and we will figure this out together. We talked a little bit about Jaxson Robinson. No news, literally silence from Robinson. And I think that's a very good thing. I think it's fine. I think it's perfectly fine. Let's talk about a potential replacement in case you don't get Robinson. Jordan Lathan. He entered the transfer portal at midnight last night after the transfer portal window was beginning to close. He entered right before that door went shut out of Morehead State. And this kid, flat out, was just a bucket getter. That's what Kentucky needs. They need somebody that can lead scoring. They've got shooters, they've got rebounders, they've got defenders, they've got really good players. But they need an all-around scorer. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen. Jordan Lathan, a 6'5", 195-pound senior that has technically been in college for 6 years, heading into his 6th year. In his senior season, he had to take a medical red shirt, though. He didn't get to play for Morehead State. Ended up playing his senior season this past season, and he ended up having a phenomenal year coming off of an injury. So let's back it up all the way to the beginning of his career. Started in the 2018-19 season. Holy cow. He was at UTEP as a freshman, averaged almost 11 points per game. Then in his second season, took a bit of a minute dip, and then also took a bit of a production dip, like a serious production dip. Dipped from 11 points to 5 points per game and was not shooting well. Then he transferred to Milwaukee, and in his junior year, he averaged 7 points, shot a little bit better, had a similar amount of playing time, also averaged 5 rebounds, almost 3 assists, and then he transferred to Morehead State. Like I said, took that year off for medical reasons, redshirted, and then in his 5th year, senior year, technically 5th year, 31 games, 31 minutes per contest, 15.6 points per game, shot 44% from the floor, shot 38.4% from 3, 76% foul line shooter, 6 rebounds, 2.5 assists, 1 steal. Excellent numbers. This is it. And if you go and watch, dude, there's like an 11-minute highlight reel of his past season on YouTube. Go and watch this kid play. 6'5", 195, 200, somewhere around there. Big-bodied guard. Legitimate physicality at that 2 spot. He played primarily at small forward for Morehead. He played a little bit at the 2. I think he would play shooting guard. I think he would just straight up play shooting guard for Kentucky, just as a bigger-bodied 2. Those are all excellent numbers. And again, if Kentucky can't find their bucket getter in Robinson through the portal, you need to go and get somebody like this or the kid from Samford, somebody that is known for their scoring, somebody that's known for their shooting. And this kid had it all. He could finish at the rim. He was just really, really tough driving to the basket. He has a great mid-range game, which is something I normally don't say about kids in the portal, kids period. I don't talk about the mid-range game other than to just criticize it. Lathan has a very solid mid-range game, excellent hitting tough shots, fadeaways, hitting things in the post that you would normally not expect out of a bigger-sized guard. Just all kinds of ways scoring the basketball, just a legitimate 3-level threat, and then obviously hitting a lot of threes from a season ago. I can actually go pull the number up right here. Lathan was 56 of 147 from beyond the arc last season. That was second best on Morehead State outside of Khalil Thomas, who was just an insane outside shooter to go along with Lathan. But he knows how to go get a bucket. I think this would be somebody that Kentucky would want to take a look at picking up. The experience, the fact that he's been multiple places, the fact that he has the height, the shooting, the all-around game, it's what you need. It's what you need to kind of fill out your roster here. I like this portal piece. We'll see if Kentucky reaches out. Will they reach out? Will this be a situation where we talk about a kid that ends up going to play at like Stony Brook or something like that? I don't know. I just know that his tape looks great. His numbers look even better. I think Kentucky should take a look at him.